you walked into a room, you're there for like a training or a networking event or some incredible event that's meant to be amazing, and the vibe feels off, and a couple of conversations in, you're like, this is not my place. I am in the wrong room. This is not my people, right? I've had this experience recently, and a couple of my clients have had this experience recently. So it's come up in our group coaching sessions. We've been talking about it, and it's actually really, really interesting what has come up. And I think it comes back to sometimes when we're in business, we're signing up for these networking events and we're signing up for these lunches and we're doing all the things and we're going all the places, but it really comes back to what is the intention of even going to these things in the first place? If your intention is to connect with like-minded women and just build your network so you have support as a business owner, that's great. But that's a very different intention going into an event than the event is here for me to meet potential referrals and people I can work with and for them to know who I am and for me to hand out my business cards, versus the other intention of an event, which is what, a space that some of my clients are stepping into where they're like, this event is a stretch for me. This is not my normal group. This is like a higher level. The ticket price is higher. The event strategy is higher. The guest speaker caliber is different. And so they're stepping into those events as a way to like push and expand themselves and be the person earning the least amount in the room, to be surrounded by expanders and see what is possible for them. So I want to call awareness to the intention behind going to these events, because events are very, very different. Very different. And also coming back to the fact of like, trust yourself. If you're going to a workshop and you're sitting there in the workshop with 20 other women and what they're teaching you, your soul is going, fuck no, this is not for me. Whatever system or strategy or technique that they are sharing with you, just because you paid for that ticket and you showed up and that person has been particularly successful using that strategy or technique, it does not mean that you have to do that too. And it does not mean that that is the thing that will make you successful, because if your soul is screaming no while you're listening to this training, and if you're sitting in this room with all these other women being like, oh, this is not my place, trust me, babe, there are other places out there, and there are other educations, and then there are other strategies, and there are other techniques and tools and resources that you can use to grow your business in a way that feels good for you. So first, number one, when you're going to these events, check your intention. Get really, really clear about the intention, because if your intention is to go there, and it might be a training event, but if your intention is to meet other women like you so you can create friendships, that's great, because then you're not going to get caught up so much in the education and training. Whereas if your intention to go to an event is for this one specific marketing strategy that I really want to learn, then you're really clear on that, and you're not going to be fazed as much if no one talks to you that day. Get clear on your intention, listen to your soul, and don't be afraid to acknowledge that these are not your people and this is not your room, and you're going to go and do your fucking thing anyway because you're a badass and you got this and you trust yourself, right?